Here, it's all you. Read a poem. Do something.
Yeah. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. We'll do some dice. Yeah, the only thing that I am concerned about the whole conspiracy thing and us making or us just getting into this is what are the repercussions? That's what I want to talk to Frank about. What are the repercussions of when, we touch on a subject that maybe the government doesn't want us to touch on? Do we have to put like a label on our show? Like, we are not responsible for things that are being said. Don't shoot us. Don't kill us. Frank is going to get us into a lot of trouble.
I'm gonna have black helicopters flying over our backyards in no time.
I do not want that.
I am gonna have men in black knocking on your door at 3:33 a.m.
I do not want that.
That's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna have you haunted by the ghosts of Civil War veterans who are upset you're living in the house they used to live in when it was a farm 200 years ago.
Isn't there a couple of houses that are haunted like that?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Well, they say that the house. Who was that creepy guy, Joel Steinberg? Remember from back in the day? He had, I think he killed a lot of ladies, a lot of women.
Oh no, you're talking
Joel
about
Steinberg.
John. No, he. Killed,
anyway, the house that he lived in is supposedly haunted.
It's a pig's farm. It's a pig farm.
No, the one it's down in the village somewhere.
Oh, okay. Oh, that I did not know.
Yeah.
Is that the one that they found that he was like making soup out of them?
I have no idea.
That was a downtown.
You know what?
Village.
We really should do a little research before we bring up people's names. My mind isn't what it used to be.
But
now I know a whole hell of about. I know a tiny bit about a lot of things. That's the problem. I don't know a lot about anything anymore.
I'll tell you something. That was pretty scary when they found a guy from the village who had his girlfriend's head in a big pot of soup.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah. They said that the only reason why they busted him was because the neighbor couldn't take the smell of the soup. So she called the cops. Like, this guy's cooking something horrible. I don't know what's going on. They knocked on the door. They walked in. He had a soup, like one of those big, soup pots that you have in restaurants. And I know I'm laughing because it's just like so ridiculous. He had his girlfriend's head in there.
Oh my!
Her arm and a piece of her leg.
Let's get to aliens quick. Oh my Lord! Oh my goodness!
Oh man! I'll tell you,
501.
it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. But I'll tell you, this whole. I'm happy that we're doing this. Number one. But I'm thinking, bro, we need to come up with some way where we're not going to disappear. You think
we're going to get that popular?
Well, I think
they're going to become important.
Well, if we do become that popular, I'm hoping you disappear, not me.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's sweet of you to say.
No, it's got to be between us two, bro.
Right.
You started it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
It is yeah. So right now I'm calling John to see if he picks up, so then we can plug him in.
If he picks up, we'll plug him in without a problem. Yeah,
John, is that you? Yeah, it's Frank Vignola. So hang on, we're going to try and plug you in. If you want to watch along, the podcast is happening in real time on my Facebook wall.
All right, hold on. Let me get him. Hello, John?
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I can hear him too. Look at that. Modern technology. Okay, so how much time do we have left on the old computer there?
As much time as you want.
All right. Well, John, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for being a guest on the show, and I would like to introduce you to my buddy here who's on the show with me all the time, George the Rage Diaz. And basically I told, the audience that we met through the Ancient Aliens group, and that you wanted me to help you frame your what you think that the true genesis of the human race was as a screenplay. So that's how we've been working together. And then I asked you to be a calling guest on the show to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, why don't you just tell the audience, you're calling in from Texas, why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself first?
Okay, first of all, I just really not too much into science, but I'm always into a good story. I guess that's what got me attracted to it. Just the fact that everything fits together like it should.
Mm-hmm.
It pretty much just went from there. I went beyond watching it on TV to actual studying the followings of the scientists who talk on the show, and then some more and other theories. You know, I just over time I have had my own theory of it, you know, kind of what happened, and you know, that's one of the things me and Frank were working on. So it's a lot easier said than done, but
we got one scene we got one scene written so far. The opening
right,
scene. So tell us a little bit. I don't mean to interrupt, John, but tell us a little bit, just so people know where you're coming from, where you live. You know, you don't have to give us personal information, but where you live, what do you do for a living, when did you first get interested in? Like, give us a tiny bit of your bio or backstory, just so we know a little who John Augustine is.
Yeah, a little bit about John. John lives in the DFW area of Texas, the center of the neutron microscope. He works in telecommunications. He's been in the satellite, cable, all these things, so I know where you live, and pretty much that's it.
And has this been something that has interested you your entire life, or something that you've stumbled on a little later just as pieces came together?
I mean, had I been interested in it all along, I'd probably be a lot richer than I am now.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. There you go. So, I mean, I know that you don't want to give away the whole story. You don't want to give away the movie or whatever, but can you give us a little taste of what you think mankind's genesis truly was, and how the aliens are involved?
Basically, I came about my theory, while digging without a shovel one day and looking at the dirt underneath my fingernails and thinking, I've done this before.
Wow.
So it basically starts out with a constant gardener type situation where we were just slaves to something who was more powerful than us and a lot more smarter than us, and who knew how to manipulate us.
Wow.
Kind of the same way that humans are manipulated to this very day. So I kind of put those things together, and it all just came from a blurry watercolor to a very fine water painting. It's standing very still in my mind and keeps me up all night long.
Wow, that's, I mean, that just everything you said, there's so much there. Okay, so like just a couple of questions, and George, if you have anything as well. So like I'm wondering, so was mankind as we know him, like Homo sapien, here, or was it like Cro-Magnon man was here, but then the aliens genetically engineered Cro-Magnon man into a humanoid that could be their slave? What is the actual?
I think basically the basic hypothesis I have is that everything that is on this planet eventually evolves. So I believe that our original state was probably someone who could dig in the dirt a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1 second.
Much more upper body strength, more arm strength, more forearm strength. Just just like you would design something, an animal to protect your home, or an animal to love your family. You would design it to be either fluffy or mean. And I believe that that's we're so much more different than everything on this planet, yet we have the same chemical compound makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were just a combination of a few things thrown together, just happened to work out for someone or something's advantage.
Now,
somewhere along the way.
George, did you have something?
No, I'm just
because
Peaches just asked, "How's it going? What's up?" And Russell was saying that we were skipping, but I fixed that. You're
Thanks,
from
Russ.
Texas, right?
Who, me? Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I don't know. I mean, it's just you looked at the dirt in your fingernails, right? And you
he's saying he had a. He's saying he had
yeah.
a. He's saying that he had
an epiphany.
No, he's saying he had a recollection, like another lifetime or other experience, recollection while he was digging, that it's like human deja vu. He had been through this before.
Okay, I got that.
Do I have
right,
that right,
right.
Ken? Yeah. John, I mean, not Ken.
basically, everything that I believe the deja vu is basically just millions and millions of years of collective memories that are inside of you. That at a certain moment in time, it just builds up to a certain extent to where it just pops out. Whether you caused it or something else caused it, it pops out because it has to. It stores it gathers over time, I believe, and that's what I think deja vus are. This wasn't a deja vu. It was closer to a realization that, I'm at this moment in time as a human, I'm not very good at doing this digging right here. But in the past, I had to dig like this for some reason to either eat or, something, because it was a primal thing that I felt, digging without a shovel, without a tool. It was a primal, I don't know, it was just an instinct that popped into my head, and I followed that to its bloody end.
Right.
So did you see like anything? What I'm asking is like, a recollection. Did you see the visuals? Or were they just all feelings?
I mean, I've added visuals since, just with my own imagination, but it was more of a feeling that I got than anything.
Okay.
And then and it's weird to feel something and then study about it, and then turns out you're right. Usually with studying, you find out you're wrong, unfortunately. But with this whole theory and the whole thing, it just everything it makes too much sense. It's just like mathematics,
right?
And when it's math, that's the truth. So,
yeah, science is science for sure. Now, a couple of quick questions. One, what were the aliens mining? Two, what did they need it for? And three, if you're talking about things like the aliens, mining things because they needed those things, or you're talking about creating them creating a race of slaves or whatever, then in an odd sort of way, even though they're alien, like the entire living experience is human. Like we all sort of have the same goals, the same needs to save tribes.
The same goals.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless of whether you're a gray or a reptilian or whatever, we all kind of, have the same sort of thing that drives us.
Right. Basically, the way that I would think they would look would be the way we would look today if we went to another planet. I don't believe that this planet would be very, or was then, hospitable to them. So they would definitely be in some kind of suit. I don't know, but talking about to get to the end there, your main existence and my main existence is to, consume things. So in that process, things disappear, and we have to outsource for those things to disappear.
It's just hard. It's just sad.
I don't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting better at this.
No,
it's just sad that like if there are these races, good, bad, or indifferent, that are so technologically advanced, have so much knowledge, have come so far, that they're basically just like us insofar as they're as angry as us, or they're as petty as us, or they're as nice as us, or it's still about dominating the other guy, or it's still about getting your wealth. It's a shame that there's not a higher experiential thing that goes along with the advanced technology.
I mean, I believe that there has to be a singular being like that to basically keep the rest of us kind of like a pilot light for humanity. There has to be just one single source who probably just produces energy and doesn't consume energy, and who retains knowledge and probably, unfortunately, cannot expel knowledge. So, but they do what they can. There has to be something, overall, if you want to call it God, if you want to call it, whatever you think. But there has to be, something just turning the wheels of the universe. I think we're all just children of that, and just like us, when we're in a playground, some kids are, playing tic-tac-toe, some kids are running around screaming and trying to attack other kids. It's just the universe and how it works.
Well, I want to ask you a question, because you said that we consume, and this is maybe something that is a trade that was given to us, so we do it. You know, you're making me think that every corporation raider and every marketeer is an alien now.
I mean, no, I wouldn't go as far as to say all that. I would go as far as to say that we're all aliens unto ourselves, where we don't even realize what we're doing. We can only identify from far away. It's very strange to me. But I don't believe I don't partake in the actual physical alien agenda, you would call that, of something like that. I believe that most of the people that were around when we were young people are probably not around anymore, just like everything else that makes, you know.
So a quick question then. So actually 3 quick questions. As this ties into religion, 2 questions. 1, was there a Garden of Eden? 2, was there a great flood, and was that God or the aliens? And 3, somebody told me that they think that Hillary Clinton is actually reptilian. And I'd like your opinion on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to address that. So the public wants to know. Basically, as far as the flood goes, if you'll, in my opinion, the flood happened, and it was the singular event recorded by man that wasn't even supposed to be around at that time, basically, according to typical history. But I believe that was the event when 2 or 3 giant ice comets hit the world, and just the resulting cloud, instead of being dust, was actually moisture, and it caused a great rain. And I'm thinking I live really close to where one of those impact craters, which is called the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that thing's really that Gulf is really deep for pretty much for no reason. It's a pretty small body of water, and it's very deep.
So did we get to Hillary, or not kidding? Like
not
other
yet,
people of power, like are there truly like reptilians in shapeshifters and stuff like that in positions of power?
I mean, if there was someone in politics who was an alien, it would have to be Miss Clinton or Mr. Clinton. They both were just way too happy to be in office. I have to say, way too happy. Mr. Clinton himself, probably the only politician who still tells the Secret Service to, come on, man, be cool. In 2016.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They still follow him around, and he has an office in Harlem, I think.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He's probably still very annoyed by those people, and anyone who has ran a country should be technically looking over their shoulder before they run for the country.
Wow.
Any country, any seat of power.
Wow.
And what do you mean by annoyed by those people? Who are those people?
What do you mean?
You said
now?
You said Clinton is
I think he meant the Secret Service following him around.
No, I thought he meant Harlem people.
No, I don't think that's what he. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
yeah, no, they. I believe they all still be. Any president or his staff or anyone in wartime presidency gets it. You get followed for the rest of your life, I believe. After
Oh no, that's true. That's true.
Well, I think actually anyway, and again, I need to start doing research. George, send me that note and remind me. I think since I don't know if it was Truman or maybe it was after him, but I think that every president has gotten a Secret Service detail after he's no longer in office.
They always have.
Since World War II. I could be wrong, but I think they all have.
Oh, I think since Lincoln got shot.
No, the Secret Service just started with Lincoln, and the first guy who had the position was shit at his job. Let's be honest.
Really
but the Secret Service, I believe, didn't that start with Lincoln, and then got absorbed by the Treasury Department? But I believe it started with Lincoln.
Yeah,
and I believe the Secret Service that we have now is more has fallen to their own glamour.
Oh yeah,
because,
definitely.
All you have to do is just get a small ice chest and you can get into the White House grounds by jumping over.
Well, did you hear about them not
A small wheeled ice chest will get you into the White House grounds.
Did you hear
It
about
really used to take a lot more than that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like you'd have a wagon and a crew to distract them. On this side of the lawn, a lady with a garter belt pulled up high. I mean, it was a production.
Well,
to get into there. Those guys were serious.
And
And now it's a small wheeled ice chest.
And the White House, I mean, and the security around there, believe it or not, it's amazing that that these nut jobs keep getting so close because they got snipers on the roofs, they got all kinds of stuff, and yet somehow these people are like getting to like within 15 feet of the Oval Office window.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
well, one guy got inside a while back and roamed around until he scared a couple of the service workers, and then they called security and they stopped him. But he got inside the building.
Jeez.
Somebody.
Oh wow,
had a
that's
whoop
horrible.
from it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was going to
they
tell
left-
you. I was going to
they
tell you
left the
that
big door open.
Sorry, I was going to tell you that the CIA in Colombia got busted for not paying their hookers.
God.
They did.
Well, that happened to didn't our Secret Service get in trouble for
That's what
partying
I'm
on the
trying- yeah,
job?
they
and
didn't pay the hookers.
And a couple of guys didn't show up to
No, they
their
didn't pay
shifts
the
and
hookers.
stuff. Yeah.
And the hookers got pissed and told the boss.
Oh,
it's
really?
like they want their money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the Secret Service guy right now from my college days, and he's the guy that was standing there at the party, not drinking, and telling everyone to give him their keys. I
Wow.
can see him.
Wow.
His name was Dave.
Wow. Wow. So
Dave or Orion or something like that. And these are our Secret Service guys. But, they had to
So-
recruit some guys.
before we have to sign off here, we talked a little bit about the alien thing, and thank you for that. Are there any other conspiracies or thoughts or anything that you want to drop on us or to contemplate a little bit that don't necessarily have to be alien, just anything going on?
I mean, I don't have a conspiracy, but what I would like to tell everyone before anytime I know anyone's listening, the first thing I would like to say is we have to get rid of oil, people.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely
Here,
understand
here.
We have to stop using oil and polluting our home because it's a big home, but it's our home.
I got you.
I'm with you on that 110%. Well, John, thanks for coming on today. Really appreciate it, man. And
Thank you guys for having me.
we will have
Appreciate
you again for sure. That was John
Awesome.
Augustine,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you, John.
it. Good to be with you guys. Have a good one.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
That was John Augustine, everybody. And what I love about John, and I really have only met this guy through Facebook, is, you might think that some of the things he says are kind of out there, but they're well spoken, they're well thought out. He's a pleasure to talk to. Like, it doesn't sound. You may not agree with a word of it, and it may sound like really out there, but you know what? It's concisely and intelligently put forward. With
I find
respect
him
and
very-
forethought.
Yeah, I find him very convincing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it's not some tinfoil hat, standing on a dairy carrier, screaming about whatever. It's no, you got to respect that. I mean, the minute that we started talking after we met on that, that's the way he was, and he's got a wicked quiet sense of humor too.
Yeah.
But that's the way he was, and it was like, man, you got to respect that, and you just
Definitely.
wish that more people, whether it was about politics or whatever, spoke to one another that way instead of calling each other, shall we say, libtards or whack jobs or whatever. I mean,
like the name Liptard, man.
That's a name-
Stop it.
Okay,
I like Liptard.
that's what you're going to name your new dog. Buy a dog.
Liptard. Hey, what's
Name-
up, Liptard?
Buy a dog. and name it. Okay, anybody on the thread had any ideas for any podcasts, any comments, anything that they'd like to say before we get close to signing off here? I guess
done.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anybody? Anything?
I'm
went out.
actually. I have to renew my session because there's something. Sometimes it's crazy when my computer,
Right.
once it starts picking up a lot of stuff, it just goes nuts. But that one is good. Frankie Hudak actually tuned in.
What did he say?
Nothing.
No,
He said nothing.
just tuned in.
He tuned in, but he's not going to say anything unless there's a mic in front
Well,
of him.
I spanked Frankie today because he sent me some sort of nonsense about Donald Trump and Bill.
You spanked him again?
Donald Trump and Bill Clinton saying the same thing about immigration, except Bill Clinton said it in 1996. And I had to point out to Frankie that A, that was 20 years ago, and B, Bill Clinton isn't running for president.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but we're going to have
but
Frankie.
his horrible wife is.
Oh, you know what?
I knew I'd get you with that
You
one.
don't know what's good for you, man.
I
You have
got
no idea what.
That's why I'm
that-
learning.
Yeah,
That's why I'm learning.
we're trying.
I'm learning from the best. You.
So real quick, is there anything that we can see?
Well,
or
I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to get into it.
anybody we want to say hello to before we go? Anybody had any ideas for anything?
Well, I
before
think
we
with the
sign
the new game, with the new show, Frank, I think we're going to have a lot of listeners
I agree.
tuning in. We're going to have a lot of listeners liking what we say, and it's going to be good. I guarantee you, the new show. I think mine is just the internet. Something's wrong with this internet today.
Well, it seems
Just
like
keeps
there's a
like
lot
it's
more
stopping.
responses up there than there are
Yeah,
on your
exactly,
thing. So
exactly.
we didn't, and I think we just clicked off. So turn us back on long enough to say goodnight.
And I'm going to say, Frankie, Rick Crum joined.
Oh, Rick Rome. Rick is beautiful people. Rick is a brilliant comic who teaches classes down at the Comedy Cellar. Let me tell you something. You know, there's only 2 or 3 people worth taking class with in this city if you're interested in comedy, and Rick is definitely one of them. And the Comedy Cellar is a fantastic organization that I was lucky enough to be a part of when I first got in the game 20 years ago, doing their late nights. And Rick is just good people. I actually can say that I love that man.
It's funny. We all got in 20 years ago.
Yeah, didn't we?
By the Comedy Club. We were around the corner of it, too.
Yeah,
Boston
yeah,
Comedy Club
yeah.
and all this
Remember
other
Boston?
craziness. Yeah, man.
So I guess it's time to sign off unless there's anything. Or this is what I'll do. We will check the thread after the show, and if there's any suggestions that anybody has about upcoming shows, any suggestion to make the podcast better, other than we got to stop stepping on calling guests.
But we didn't.
Oh, I think we
didn't
did.
No. We
Okay.
only, listen, we're always going to have a little bit of a mistake.
Right.
And we actually didn't step on each other that at all.
No, not us too much
know?
today, I don't think.
And I think it was the delay also on the phone.
Right.
So he can't hear us until we speak. So we have to speak.
Right. No, that makes sense. But if you have any comments, thoughts, questions, or whatever, please leave them in a comment box on the thread, or email them, or IM or them to me on my Facebook, Frank Vignola. We will, and then with the next show, we'll start to address those because in 3 weeks we will have sponsorship. So our shit has got to be together by then.
The other thing is, by next week, we will have a scheduled calendar.
There you go.
We will have repeated shows at certain times.
Broadcast coordinates.
Broadcast coordinates.
Awesome.
We'll have all of that. I just been working on all that, and for me to give people these numbers and they call and they just don't know how to adjust and all that, I'd rather have it all adjusted. I'd rather have it all ready and then give it to them.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job, George. And just as a little commercial for my good buddy George of 20 years as well.
Thank you.
Listen, this baby is his. He did an awesome job, along with Al Martin, putting this all together. And if you want to do a podcast, live streaming and all that, you're welcome to do so. You would do it through George, with George. It's a great deal. It's a great way to start to get your voice out there. This is the way it is, folks, now. I mean, you can still audition for Conan, and hope you get a spot there. You can still hope you end up in TV and film. But basically, everybody who's anybody these days, folks, is like doing their own line streaming, putting it on their own channel, putting together their own online content, and getting it out there, in hopes that it continues to grow, whether it's via Sirius Radio or whether it's via, subscribers or however you want to say it. So this is a great way to do it. And am I allowed to quote him a price or don't quote a price?
No, don't quote that.
So I'm not going to quote a price, but I am going to say that is very affordable.
Very.
He's a great guy to work with. This is a very nice studio, and especially, even though it's hot when the air conditioning doesn't work, great sound.
Doubly cold as
Great
shit,
sound. So, honest God, everybody in the world, if you've ever been interested in doing this, This right here, this good-looking
Thank
fellow
you,
right
man.
here, he's the man that you should talk to. And for the last time, I'll sign off as if we're Alien Genesis, and then after again, never again.
Okay,
And
got it.
It'll be Nightmares for. So this is the last Alien Genesis sign-off as I keep hitting my headset. You have been watching Alien Genesis, a podcast that defies explanation with Frank Vignola. Visitors welcome.
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.